Hey, Frank, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please, what did you think the issues were on offense tonight? 20 something crosses, but only four shots on goal.
Well, the crosses has to be better, but also the occupation in the box itself, of course, has to be better. But also the finishing. I think if you see we had two crosses with Manuel Castro, and two times he mishit it. So yeah, then it's not a shot on goal. But for me, it was really a good chance. Also in the first half, the cross that Brooks gave, but it was a little bit too hard. Maybe he couldn't control it really, Manuel. Because if it's a little bit slower, probably you can have an easy tap in or control, and then have a very big opportunity. So it's it's not only the delivery. Sometimes it's the player itself. Sometimes it's delivery, and sometimes it's the occupation in the box itself.
Great. Our next question is from Felipe Cardenas. Felipe, go ahead. Felipe, can you hear us?
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Frank. Good evening. How are you tonight?
Well, felt
can
better.
You explain yeah. Can you explain the decision to go with Emerson Hyndman and Mo Adams in midfield, and what you expected out of them and their performance overall?
Well, I think both played really well, and Mo is like the guy who does the dirty work, of course, in the midfield. Emerson is like what we expect, what Darlington Nagby did last season. He's like the player who connects with the defense and the midfield towards the attack, and he's very comfortable on the ball, and I think he did really well. And even though he didn't train 2 weeks with us, and so he can look back at a very good game. Only he couldn't play the whole game, so that's why I have to substitute him. And again, Mo, I think he did an excellent job, to stop, the transition attack from them, the counter attack, and so I was satisfied with their performance.
Next question, Joe Patrick. Joe, go ahead.
Hey Frank, I just wanted to kind of just ask you generally how you thought the team played tonight, given the circumstances, and just kind of like what they did well and where you think there's the biggest room for improvement.
Well, the biggest improvement that we gave too many big chances away, and I think if you start with the first goal, I have to see it back, but I think we are not alert enough, to see the guy who's coming. And so the first half they had 3 good chances, and 2 times we are too sloppy with marking, and out of nothing suddenly there appeared a chance. So yeah, we have to do that much better. I think during the whole still everybody there? Oh. Yeah. Okay. I think during the first half, I think we really played quite well, and we created our chances. What I already mentioned, the cross from Brooks Lennon towards Manuel Castro was, I think, a 100% chance. George Bello, of course, had a great chance. PT maybe half a chance. So and we played, I think, quite well. We had our speed on the flanks, and PT was really involved into the game, and so in that case I was satisfied. But football is a game of mistakes, and we have to understand that who makes the less mistakes normally wins. And of course also you have to mark goals. That's also an issue in soccer, so we have to improve in that. But the first half, I think we were better. They had maybe 3 very good chances, but I think we had also 200% chances. And so I said it in the half time that I was quite pleased how they played. But we have to start directly from the beginning, and not after we received a goal against us. Second half, I think it was a little bit equal, the game. They had some very good opportunities. We had some good opportunities, especially with Manuel Castro in the beginning. And yeah, later on, you saw that everybody gets a little bit more tired. Also, Red Bull put some fresh guys in. Hopefully, they can make the difference. And we were very close with Adam Young at the end with a good header, but unfortunately, it wasn't given for us a draw. But I see a lot of positive things, but we have to understand, we are Atlanta United. We want to win every game, and that's the attitude that we want to see, of course. And we're never satisfied with, maybe a point or especially 0 points.
All right, we're going to go back to Doug. As a reminder, if you want to ask a question, you need to hit the raise hand icon at the bottom. Go ahead, Doug.
2 questions for you, Frank. How difficult does dropping all the points in this game now make it to advance out of this group stage? And can you talk about the decision to go back to that kind of 3-4-3 formation that I think you started last year with?
Yeah, I think that we have the best players for that right now to play this system. And I'm really convinced that we can really, I think already what your colleague said, we had like 20 crosses. So that means, we are on attacking side, and that is what I want to see. I want initiative from our center backs, our wing backs. We have a lot of offensive players, maybe one really defensive midfielder and one center back, who normally is like the locker on the door, like Miles Robertson. But for the rest, I want to see an attacking side, and that's what Atlanta expects, the fans expect, and I think we show some glimpse of it. And I think in this system we can do that. And I think if you see the players that we have, I think it's a perfect fit for them.
Sorry, I was on mute. Next question, Alex Kaminar, go ahead. Alex, you're unmuted.
Hi, Coach. How are you today? My question is, I can do it in Spanish, the question?
Sí.
Okay. Hi, Coach. Este partido vimos que el Atlanta United fue el dominador en el partido. Pero ¿usted cree que si hubiera salido con Jan y Barco de titular, la historia hubiera sido diferente? ¿Y si ha sabido alguna noticia sobre Josep Martínez? Gracias.
¿Sobre Adam Jan has pedido? ¿Qué es el primero? ¿Qué es el primero pregunta?
Sí, le pregunté, vimos que el Atlanta United fue el dominador en el partido.
Sí.
Pero ¿usted cree que si hubiera salido con Jan y Barco de titular, la historia hubiera sido diferente?
Ah, sí.
¿Y si ha sabido alguna noticia sobre
José? Nunca sabes. Yo tengo mucha confianza no solo en Ezequiel Barco y Adam Jan, pero también en Manuel Castro. Ha demostrado en los entrenamientos que tiene una buena conexión con Rosetto Barco cuando él está bien. Barco no puede empezar porque tenía molestias una semana pasada, por esta razón no puede empezar. Y Adam Jan es un buen jugador, pero ahora yo he elegido para Manuel Castro, pero próxima vez puede ser diferente. Y yo estuve muy contento con Piti, ha luchado hasta el último minuto y desde el primer minuto, y fue muy activo y también ha hecho muy buenas jugadas. Estuve muy contento con él, con cualidad ha enseñado, pero también con el carácter que ha enseñado.
Last question, Doug Robertson. Doug, go ahead.
Again, going back, my first question of the second set, how difficult is it going to be for y'all to advance out of this group stage now?
Well, I think a lot of number 3s also going. We still go for the first place. we have to know that we have to win games, and that's where Atlanta stands for, and we're gonna do that the next time. And I'm confident what I saw today that we can have a good result against Cincinnati, and. But yeah, of course, still when you lose against Cincinnati, you can still, with a good result against Columbus Crew, you can go to the next round. But of course, you don't want to be in that situation, and I believe that we gonna have a good result against Cincinnati.
All right, one last more. Steve Hummer. Steve, go ahead. Steve, you should be unmuted. You just need to unmute your side, and you're good to go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, Frank. What makes the Red Bull such a uniquely difficult challenge for Atlanta United? And along those lines, what did they do today that followed that pattern?
Well, they always play the same, and it's very direct. A lot of long balls, and then win second balls. They have quality players like Kaká and Volant who can make the difference, on the ball or give assist, and they know exactly what they're gonna do, and they do always the same. And so straightforward, winning those duels, second balls, and play from there. And that's always a difficult tactic what you to play against. And so I think we did a lot of times well, but we have to understand that we have to do better to win against this kind of team. We had our chances, but it's a tough opponent for us. They play a kind of style. I think it's still suitable for us because we created a lot of space also for ourselves. But yeah, when you are especially not really alert in some situations, they have directly a lot of men, in front of your goalie, and that they showed, like 2, 3, or 4 times that suddenly they were in front of our goalkeeper, and we have to understand that we have to do much better in that.
Thanks a lot, Frank. We'll be joined soon here by Brad Guzan and Mo Adams. Felipe, go ahead. You are clear to talk. Felipe, can you hear us?
I can hear you now, yep. Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
All right, 2 questions. First one for Mo. Just go over the performance of the midfield. Where you guys struggled in the first half, and perhaps what you guys were working on adjusting during the water breaks and at halftime.
Yeah, I think Red Bulls, of course, when they score early on in the game, they just, get behind the ball and just try to keep things compact and tight. So for us, it was just about finding the pockets behind their front line to pick up the ball and be able to turn. But also just being compact when we don't have possession and just keeping an eye on their forward players like Kaku, who are able to kind of thread the ball through. So just be cautious in transition to not get picked out.
Okay, and then quickly, if I can ask Brad, just from your perspective, big performance for you. What did you see from your perspective? Where can the team improve? What did you guys do well?
Obviously, I think there's plenty of areas to improve. You look at the result, that obviously wasn't good enough from a performance standpoint. I think our spacing could have been better, and then ultimately our options to go forward. I think in the first half especially, we know Red Bull plays a high line. The direct balls from us, and still being confident to try and play. There were times when our spacing was good and we were able to link 2 or 3 passes and get out the other side and instantly became a threat. When we're going back to front and we're going direct within 1 pass, that's not us. That's not who we are. And so I think our spacing could have been better, and obviously defensively we need to be much better. Aside from the goal, they still have good chances, set pieces. So there's a lot of areas to look back at the tape and get better for all of us.
Next question, Joe Patrick. Joe, go ahead.
Hey, Brad. I just wanted to ask you specifically about George Bello. Obviously, a big night for him, his first start with the first team and maybe ever, or in a long time at least. What did you see out of him tonight, and where do you think he can improve the most going forward?
Yeah, I mean, listen, George is a young player. We know he's got talent. We know he's got ability. But it's different. It's different when you're playing in the first team. It's different when you're playing against men. And, you know, as much as we want him to be able to go forward, we also need him to defend. And we also need him to be aware of what's happening around him. And you learn those types of things by playing games. You learn those types of dealing with those types of situations by experiencing them and having that experience. So, you know, for all the quality he has, now it's a matter of trying to string along games consistently to look at his performance from an individual standpoint and how he can get better individually, but ultimately how he can get better to help our team be more productive. Like I said, you know, he has a great chance in the first half, a bit unlucky. But at the same time, you know, I think there's still times when the spacing from obviously our center backs as well as our front players and just him having an understanding of where he can be dangerous and where he can hurt an opponent.
Next question, Doug Roberson. Doug, go ahead. Line should be open.
Question for Brad and a question for Mo. Brad, what was the breakdown on that first goal by Red Bulls? And for Mo, can you talk about the challenge of now trying to get out of the group stage without getting these 3 points in the first game?
Yeah, Brad, why don't you go? Right.
Thanks, Winks. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm going to have to look back at it. You know, my initial reaction was probably Fernando is too far over. We get sucked to the ball and our spacing's not good enough. I mean, you look at the Red Bull game against Cincinnati. You look at their games in the past. Their fullbacks, especially on the weak side, will bomb forward and get forward, as well as their interior midfielders, and they will make that run consistently. And with one ball, we were in trouble. Our spacing wasn't good enough, and with one ball over the top, he was in on goal.
Mo, do you need Doug to repeat the question?
No, I got the question. In terms of our chances coming, I mean, nothing changes. You know, we're Atlanta United. We're expected to win every game we play in. And, you know, unfortunate not to get the result today, I think. But we have to watch tape. We have to learn. We have to see areas to improve. But it doesn't change anything. You know, we have to still go out and play the 2 games and, you know, aim to win and then get out of the group stages.
Thanks. Next question here, Jacob Roth, CBS 46. Jacob, go ahead. Line should be open.
Hey, this is a question for both you guys, but I guess we could start with Mo. You know, obviously disappointing result, but just how did it feel to be back out there playing a competitive match after 4 months?
Yeah, of course, it's great to get back out there. I think, you know, it's been a while for us, and we've trained and we've, you know, had setbacks and challenges over the course of, you know, this year, really. So we're proud to get back out there and be able to compete. Of course, it's not ideal with the result tonight, but, you know, like I said, we'll look at the tape, we'll watch and we'll learn, and we'll come back stronger next game.
Go ahead for Brad.
Yeah, same. I mean, listen, we're professional athletes. Our job is to go out and compete and try and win games, and this is what it's all about. And so we're very fortunate to be in the position we are and to have the job that we do, if you want to call it that. We're extremely lucky, and so to be able to go out and play games, that's where we get our joy. And so to go through what the entire world's gone through over the last 4 months, and to now be able to step back on the field and compete, that's what it's all about. So yeah, it felt good.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Mo. That concludes today's press conference.
Good job, Winks.
Love you, Brad.